Hi everyone, Amanda here from AK Tutoring based in Norman, Oklahoma. Today I'm continuing my discussion on percentages. Percentages can be very conceptually difficult for students, and the number one question I hear about percentages reveals just why this is. Students often ask, why am I using the number 100 to represent one thing? Why would 100% mean the same thing as the number 1? This naming convention developed in ancient Rome as multiples of 1 over 100 came to be used quite often in monetary calculations. Let's think back to using fractions in order to help us understand the further development of the percentage. The denominator of a fraction represents the total amount of whatever we're measuring, and the numerator represents some part of that total. Thus, the number 100 came to represent the total amount of whatever we're measuring. The Latin word per centum led directly to the development of our daily usage of the word percent, as it meant by the hundred. We use 100% to represent the entirety of whatever we're measuring. If I own 5 jackets, those 5 jackets are represented by 100%. If you have 24 classmates, those 24 classmates are represented by 100% as well. This means that the number 100% is completely relative to the situation at hand. Now, even though we may use 100% or other percentages, we need to calculate these percentages back to regular numbers. You can think about the percent symbol as representing the fraction 1 over 100, and you can use this to do your conversions. For example, if you have the percentage 100%, you can think about this as being the number 100 multiplied by 1 over 100 in place of the percentage sign. You can then continue to move forward using all of the things you know about fraction multiplication. For one thing, we can convert any whole number to a fraction by putting it over the number 1. We then multiply numerator by numerator and denominator by denominator, which leaves us with 100 over 100. Finally, every number divided by itself is just equal to 1. Now, this could be done with any percentage, not just 100%. Let's say I'm dealing with 13%. This is the same thing as saying 13 multiplied by 1 over 100. Again, I can convert the whole number to a fraction by dividing it by 1. I multiply across, numerator by numerator, denominator by denominator, and I now have the fractional form of my percentage. Now, to divide a number by 100 is the same thing as to move the decimal place over twice to the left in order to produce a smaller number. This is the technique that we saw in my previous video on percentages. In that video, we would have went directly to the step where 13% is the same thing as the number 0.13. Now, you can use whichever method you prefer, but it is definitely helpful to know both ways of converting percentages to regular numbers. The more connections you know, the better you'll know your percentages.